Guys, Adas, how are you? I hope you are doing well. So, if you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not subscribed, well, what you waiting on? Hit the subscribe and all and what? Subscribe, the notification, bell notification, and all. Okay. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna autopsy a malignant narcissistic so-called marriage. All right, because it wasn't a marriage, it was bullshit. Okay, is what it was. And I want y'all to learn from my example. I want you to pay close attention to the signs because I don't want you signing up for the same thing that I went through. Okay? So, a lot of times when narcissists seek out empaths, okay, kind hearted people, they are like animals hunting. Okay, and they can sniff out, you know how animals can tell when another animal is weak or sick or alone, and so the predator will target that animal because of it. All right, and narcs are the same way. They're hunting for prey. So if they perceive you to be an empath and they perceive you to be weak, you don't have any family here, you don't have a lot of friends here, wherever you happen to live, okay, where here is for you. Don't tell them that you don't have family. Don't tell them that you don't have friends, because that sharpens their predatory skills and they hone in on you even more. Okay. Don't tell them about your childhood because they will hone in on you more. And they will test your ability to be empathic, because what they will do is they're notorious for giving you a sob story because they want to see if you are empathic, all right, if you would be a good target. Okay, so the story that this individual used to test my empathy levels was, and not all narcs will do this, so let me make that clear. Okay, he basically gave a sob story about how his best friend got killed, and it's this long drawn out story. He was killed by his brother. He went out of town to visit his brother. They didn't really get along that well. He had a premonition about dying when he went down to, I think he went to Florida to see his brother. He had a premonition about getting killed, and he did get killed by his brother. And anyway, he used that story. The guy that got killed was malignant, his best friend, according to him. So you gotta kind of question everything they ever tell you, because so much of what they tell you is misrepresented, a lie, or something like that. You know what I mean? Exaggerated. They're not honest, okay? So he used that story of his friend getting killed as a sob story to suck me into this world of his where he is a predator. I wasn't interested in being in a relationship with him initially. I was just, talking to him on the phone, and that was pretty much, hanging out with him, and that was it. I wasn't really looking for a relationship. However, he thought I would be a good target. So they control with money. And when they flip out, a lot of times the reason why they're flipping out could be connected to the fact that they're screwing other people. They will never be faithful. Let me repeat that. They will never be faithful. Ever. Okay? So anyway, it's a really long story. I've been 20 plus years of bullshit, so I'll have to condense it quite a bit to make it fit. So initially everything is always good. Okay. Money's not an issue. If you want this particular thing, get it. If you want that microwave, get it. You have to have a microwave, right? If you want that expensive dress, get it. Now, I'm the type of person, and I've always been that way, even when money wasn't an issue. I could fall in love with a dress, and when I look at the price and it's what I think is way too much, I get over it. I'm not paying that for a dress. Well, he was like, if you want it, get it. Okay? So money is obviously not a problem. It's not an issue. It's not a problem for now. All right. So I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to lie to you. I made some serious mistakes and I regret it now, but it's a lesson well learned, right? Red flags like so in your face that, I mean, how can you not know that that's a red flag? You know what I'm saying? But I was young and didn't know anything about narcissistic anything. I thought being a narcissist was you're just very self-centered, self-absorbed. We wish it was that simple. It is so not. So anyway, the fake generosity with money, that was fake. But he did that bullshit for 2 years. Generous, 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 generous. Okay. Anything I wanted was never a problem. Went on the road with him because he was an over-the-road truck driver. And I have made it a point to never date another truck driver again. It is way too easy for them to hump other people because they're never home. Is that fair to judge every truck driver that way? No, but I just was not going to put myself in a situation like that. Traveling salesman, anybody where they're never home, those could be opportunities to bang other people. Let's just keep it real. So yeah, no. And I found out that if you have a criminal background, a trucking company will still hire you. Yeah, nah, I'm not signing up for that either. Forget it. Totally forget it. Anyway, so moving right along. Generous with the money, generous with the money, generous with the money, generous with the money. And then I noticed that he didn't start bitching about money until after the 2 years, and it was like sporadic, but then it started getting more and more and more a problem. And we'll talk more about that in a second. So, oh my God. Let's see. Generous with money. Narcs can run hot and cold. Their mood swings are all over the map. They're not being faithful to you. They have a mental illness in their head, and so you never know what mood you're going to get when. And you're going to get hardened, and you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you're going to learn how to verbally shut this shit down, because if you roll over and play dead, you will be, you're going to be stomped into the ground. So you're going to get more aggressive and you're going to get more mouthy because you're tired of the bullshit. So what happened was, let me think, we went on the road together a couple of times because he traveled the entire country, and he turned into such, not all the time, but there were times that he was just a complete ass for no reason. And I distinctly remember at one point, we would go days without speaking to each other in this little itty bitty confined space of a truck, because I was tired of the bullshit. And when they know that they have you away, they have you in a situation where they perceive you to be vulnerable, they're going to behave worse, because it puts them in a power position, or so they think. And so they're going to get worse. So I distinctly remember, for the most part, we got along on the road. But then there were times that he was just an evil son of a bitch for no reason. And I distinctly remember telling him, I'll tell you what, if you think for 2 seconds that because you have me away from family and friends, that you're in control, You ain't in control of shit, and you could drop my ass off at the next truck stop. Well, I'm not going to do that. Well, you need to damn do it because I'm done with this. And he simply refused to do it. When he realized that I had an escape route, drop my ass off. I will find out how to get home. Okay? When he realized that I had an escape route, he adjusted his funky attitude. But and there were times I got him back, and we'll get into that too. So I was dead serious. Drop my ass off at the next truck stop. I will find my way home. Well, all of a sudden he's gonna have morals and ethics. I wouldn't drop somebody off. Uh, if I didn't, if we weren't supposed to drop you, I wasn't supposed to drop you off there, and that's not right. I said I'll do anything to get away from you. So he adjusted his attitude temporarily. Um, it was a mess, and they will also control you with sex. And they will make up their mind that I'm going to give it to you if and when I decide to give it to you. That is not a good game to play with me because I have so much control over my sex drive that I can turn it off like a light switch. As I told y'all before, I lost my sex drive for 10 years because I got sick and tired of being played that way. So I shut it completely down all the way around the board. In addition to the fact that he wasn't protecting me, and his ex-wife was a psycho, and we'll get into that too. So anyway, I'm trying to condense it. It's really hard because there's so much. Okay? So much. So when he started bitching about money, okay, when they start crying about money, 9 times out of 10, giving you money, even though you're supposedly married, they bitch about money and bills is because they feel that their money is going towards their other hoes. Their side pieces. Why do I have to give you money? Yeah, you're supposedly the wife, whatever the fuck that means, because I don't respect you. You're just somebody I've married on paper. But when he bitched about money, his arguments were so illogical. I found out many years later when I learned a lot about narcissism, I learned that those were the times when he was so illogical about money. Those were the times when he was giving his money to the side pieces. Why do I have to give the wife money when I need to give them to my hoes? And I need to constantly look for new prey, and I use money to do that, wine and dine other people. Here's how illogical, and then that became such a consistent thing, arguing about the money, and we just paid that bill. And I'm like, yeah, last month. You don't, how old are you? And you don't realize that you pay bills every goddamn month? I was hot. But it had not, yes, he's stupid, but he's not so dumb that he don't realize that you pay, every 30 days you pay bills, okay? Most adults who have a little bit of a brain, they know that, okay? But he didn't want to pay the bills because even though the argument was asinine, we just paid that last month, fool. Wow. Those were the times when the money was supposed to go to his hoes. All right? Some of them know that you're married. Some of them know he's in a serious relationship and they don't care because they are going to take whatever crumbs they can get from this person because they have no self-esteem at all. And they're tickled that someone's paying attention to them. All right? So anyway, argued about, and then one time the arguments they accelerated. He pretended he wasn't making that much money. He pretended that, and the reason I say pretending is because truck drivers make a lot of money, especially moving, employees, corporate employees. They make very good money, okay? So when he wasn't bitching about money and he was apparently getting laid real good by the side pieces, he was a little bit more generous. It doesn't last long. Don't get used to it. And he would, be a little bit more generous with money, and he was making really good money at that time. But that didn't stop it from escalating, bitching about the money, and just doing it almost like consecutively every single month. And it just started, it was just so asinine. Okay. Now, one time his excuse was this, when we had to pay high utility bills. You think if you live in the Midwest, you think that utilities are probably lower than New York or somewhere else, California. Well, that may be true to an extent unless the electric company gets greedy and they decide they want to charge you a hell of a lot more than what your usage is, which is called being greedy. All right? Because I'm not burning lights 24/7. There's absolutely no reason for my bill to be that goddamn high. No reason. So, this is what his argument was, because he didn't want to pay that high bill. And eventually I got on level pay, where you pay the same amount every month. And sometimes your usage increases, but you still pay the same. Sometimes it decreases, your usage decreases, but you still pay the same. But at least you know how to budget your bills every month, right? Instead of being up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Especially when companies get greedy and decide they want to pay you $200 when you're sitting in a dark house watching TV. It just don't make no damn sense. Anyway, so one time he argued, because I want y'all to get ready. I mean, the argument was ludicrous, okay? Why is the bill so high? Why is the electric bill so high? I don't understand that. And just wouldn't shut up about it. And this is what he says. My mom lives in Pennsylvania. She's got TVs burning all the time, lights burning 24/7. She's always got people in and out of the house, burning electricity, and she don't pay nowhere near what you pay. I said, do I live in Pennsylvania? Do I look like I live in Pennsylvania? And that's exactly what I said. I talked to his sister about that many moons later. And she said, yeah, but what he didn't realize is our mama was up in age, so she had a discount because of her age. There you go. There you go. Don't sit here and act like she's doing something incredibly special, and that's why her bills are a lot less than mine. Shut your dumb ass up. So anyway, oh, wow. Wow. So anyway, more arguing about bills, I have to argue and fight about bills, argue, fight. This is, they consider their money. I don't care if I'm married to you. I don't care if by law I have legal obligations. I don't give a shit. This is my money. Okay? I don't care what the court says. And when we got divorced, he didn't give a shit what the court ordered. He pays what he wants to pay. And it's just a disaster. So anyway, argue about bills. Like I invented bills. Did y'all know that? I'm famous because I invented bills. So anyway, it is toasty in this room. Whoo, toasty. I'm always toasty. Y'all know that. Anyway, argue about bills. What else kind of stunts did he pull? They probably have multiple phones. One that's to talk to you, and then the other phone to talk to the hoes and the side pieces, okay? Even when he was at the house, he was always working on the truck down the street. It always had mechanical problems. Now, in retrospect, I don't think the truck had mechanical problems every time. I think he was using that as an excuse to be down the street in a lot that was down the street so that he could talk to his little women's, and he don't have to indicate that he's home. So I got all these truck problems. I'm sure you do. You got problems, but it has nothing to do with the truck. Anyway, so what happened? Let me see. So there was a major, I had been fighting with him with this money thing, and it was just really turning me off. He got worse and worse and worse and worse with that, and it was just out of control. Then I have to condense this too. I had major problems with his ex-wife. She's psychotic, and the kids stayed with me during the summer. Like I said, I'm gonna have to condense it, but the kids stayed with me in the summer. And this one particular summer, I'm the opposite of her parents. The parents love to argue, fuss, fight. Jerry Springer, Jerry Springer, Jerry Springer. Well, I'm not like that. So I took them to the pool and I taught them how to swim, and I took them to the lake. I took them to the arcade. We went horseback riding. I made sure they ate vegetables every single day so they get nutrients in their body. And they were drawn to me and they called me mom. All right. Now, when they went back to Pennsylvania, and this is many years in, okay, after dealing with his nasty mood swings and the control with the money and all this, and then I got to the point he was reluctant. He started to get to where he's reluctant to come home, and I really didn't care if he came home or not, as long as the bills were paid. You ain't got to bring your ass up in here, okay, because you're not really fun to be around anyway. So I didn't care if he was with other people. I mean, I had gotten to that point. So, what happened? So anyway, kids really were drawn to me. They loved me. They called me mom. So when the kids went back home, they did a book report describing, well, tell us how your summer was. Do a report and tell about your summer. Well, the bitch, their psychotic mother, she found out that they called me mom. She found out that I took them everywhere and did everything for them. They ate well. Because I fed them well, and I'm going to feed you tons of vegetables because you're growing. Hello, you need those nutrients. And she complained that they had a few extra pounds when they got home. So what, bitch? That means I was feeding them. Really? That's a problem? They didn't come home obese, but they had a few extra pounds. Whoopie-doo. Anyway, she also started telling the ex-mother-in-law, which is Narc's mom, started telling her the kids came back damaged goods and they can't stand her, meaning me, and this and that, and they really hated their time in Missouri, which was a bogus lie. And his mom knew that was a lie because she had heard the kids talking about our mom in Missouri. Why would they consider me a second mom if they hated my guts, right? So she knew that this fool was just talking out her ass. Well, things escalated with that situation, and she started calling my house. I am not kidding you. She started calling my house 10 to 12 to 14, 12 times a day, 10 to 12 times a day, every single day. And back then, you had to pay money when you called long distance. We didn't have cell phones where you could call anywhere in the continental United States and it doesn't cost you anything, except minutes on your phone or whatever. No. When you called long distance, you had to pay for that every single time. And she called me every day, multiple times a day, probably, like I said, up to 12, 14 times a day, every single day. And she left messages on my machine. You're a bitch, and you damaged my kids. I don't know what you did to them when they were with you, but this and that. And she just went on and called me every single day, harassing the holy hell out of me. And I got to the point where I wanted to go to Pennsylvania and whoop her damn ass. You want to be ignorant and ghetto? Let's go, bitch. Okay? I wanted him to handle it. A real man, okay? Emphasis on a real man. A real man would address her and say, let me tell you something. When you call my house, you're going to respect my wife. I don't give a damn what you think about her, but you're going to respect my damn house and you're going to respect my wife. But when you're dealing with narky, yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me see if I can get this down. Hold on. And it's going to fight me, so no. All right. It's warm. It's just really, really warm. Oh my God. So, yeah, I told him, you need to address her. You laid down with her. You made babies with her. And you married her. And she's a psycho bitch. And she's ruining my life. And I'm done with it. Well, he didn't want to get involved because she's got power because she got the kids. And she could refuse me seeing my kids. And da-da-da-da-da. Look at here. I'm not trying to hear that pansy excuse. And I said, she needs you too. You have to remember she needs you too. Come on, don't fight me. Let me get a cold washcloth because I am just warm. I don't want to be warm. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I ain't going too far away. Sorry. Come on. There we go. So anyway, he refused to get involved. I said, she needs you too. You have to understand, she needs you too. She needs you to give her extra money for field trips and uniforms when they play sports and all kinds of stuff. She needs you too. She don't need just basics for their, she needs extra money for different things, which means she's going to act like she got some damn sense because she wants those extra things. And he wasn't trying to hear all that. He laid down and played dead. That's when I lost my sex drive for 10 years. I didn't care who he banged, who he slept with. I really don't give a shit what you do as long as the bills are paid. That's all I care about, because you don't respect me no way. You got zero respect for me. So what happened was I filed a police report. And well, no, let me backtrack. I asked him, should I change the number because she is psychotic and won't stop? And he said, well, you got to do what you got to do. Excuse me? In other words, you on your own with her, because I'm not getting involved. A real man would get involved and put a stop to her ass. So, okay, well, since I'm totally on my own, no matter what I go through, I have no desire to be intimate with you, because anything that I deal with, I have to deal with by myself. I'm in a lion's cage, surrounded by hungry lions, and hope that they don't eat me. That's what it boils down to. So if that's the situation I'm in, you're the last person I want to be intimate with, because that happens between a loving couple, a loving marriage, a loving partnership, not a situation where I'm going to use you for what I can use you for. And when something hits the fan, you on your own. Oh, really? I'm on my own. We'll see about that. So anyway, I filed a police report. I'm trying to condense it because so much crap happened. Filed a police report. The cop listened to every single message on my machine. We had voicemail machines back then, okay? Quit laughing, it's not funny. And he realized that every message was her, acting a damn fool. And he said, damn. I said, yeah, I deal with this every day. She's been doing this for months. So we filed a police report. I don't know if the police contacted her. I don't know exactly what happened, but he eventually came to a stop. Because of the abuse I was dealing with him and the abuse I dealt with her every single day, nonstop, just wouldn't stop. I ended up, that's another reason I lost my desire, is because I ended up having a mental breakdown. And I bawled and I bawled and I bawled and I bawled, and I kept everything to myself. I never told him. Why would I tell you? We're not partners. We're not in a partnership. You have made that crystal clear, right? So I remember, I'll never forget this, okay? I was talking to a group that we were addicted to each other online. I gotta get off here. We were addicted. We chatted every day. I don't know how we went to work and did chores around the house, because we were on the computer like all the time. I have no idea to this day how we managed to have a life outside of the computer, because we were just ate up with the computer. So one night, you learn people's chat style, and you learn when something's not right with somebody. They're not joking the same way. Their answers are short. You just learn that something is wrong. You learn a person's chat style. So Swag, strong woman of God, I'll never forget her, okay? Oh God, I'm getting emotional. She PM'd me, which is private message, okay? She PM'd me, and she said, what's going on with you? And I lost it. I freaking lost it. Like I said, I'm getting abused by both of these people, and it's relentless, okay? And she was talking to me like, are you still there? And I said, I can't type because I'm crying. And she said, I gotta breathe. She said, you need to call me. And I said, I can't afford to call you long distance. She said, let me tell you something. She jumped in my world. You call me. I don't care what time of day or night it is. You call me. And if you can't afford it, you call me collect if you have to. Okay? In other words, I'm not trying to hear that you ain't got nobody to talk to and you can't call me. Oh no, I'm here for you. And of course that made me cry more, you know. So naturally you don't want to be intimate with your partner because your partner hates your guts. Let's just keep it real. So anyway, I'm trying to condense and I'm trying to move on. So anyway, I went cold turkey for 10 years, no intimacy whatsoever. He acted like he didn't, now that his life is inconvenienced because he's not getting what he wants, although he was getting it from other people. Let's just keep it real. He was never without a place to bury his bone. When we went on a vacation, it wasn't a vacation, it was a business trip for me because I was pursuing acting at the time. I have got to go. I don't want this to cut off. Anyway, so went to Acapulco, Mexico. Okay. Under normal circumstances, that would have been a romantic trip, but considering it was a business trip and I'm going with someone who hates my guts, it was not romantic. And when we got home, that's when he realized that, oh, she doesn't want to be intimate with me no more. Yeah, what was your first clue? And you're not affectionate with me anymore. And I said, yeah, I am. I hug you sometimes. It's not the same. That's his way of saying, you don't want to be intimate with me anymore, and I don't understand why. Look in the mirror. That's the reason why. You hate me. You want to use me up. And I'm not having it. So anyway, eventually, after 20 plus years, I got a divorce from the son of a bitch. So these are all warnings. Don't fall for a sob story that somebody gives you in the beginning to just test your empathy levels. Watch how they manage money. Watch how they treat you. Watch how they treat you when shit hits the fan, especially if you don't have to be married to watch this. You could be in a long-term relationship. If something terrible happens to you, like being harassed by a psycho, and they're acting like, well, I don't know what to tell. That means you're on your own. And that means if you're going to be on your own, you need to be on your own and get rid of this person. That's what you need to do. So I'm going to get off of here. But if I think of more that's, important with this, then I will, additional information that's imperative, I'll let you know. So yeah, that's the autopsy of a malignant narcissistic so-called marriage. Yeah. Anyway, y'all take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.